Hey everyone, it's Tim here for an update, and God bless you. I hope you're doing well this week. And hey, if you've been with us in Equipping Hour, you've been walking through the Sermon on the Mount, and we've recently heard from the Lord's Prayer. We had Terry teach. By the way, both Tyler and Terry teaching for the first time in Equipping Hour. That's been a huge blessing to see those young guys get out there and serve and to receive their ministry. And what an encouraging thing that the Lord raises up these teachers. Also, Chin Wei taught recently. So it's really exciting when we see the way He's gifted these guys and the way they're stepping in and being faithful. So encourage them if their teaching is a blessing to you. Anyway, that aside, regarding the actual Lord's Prayer, I was just really encouraged and blessed by that opening point about calling God. The first line of the Lord's Prayer, Jesus says, "Our Father in heaven." And just as Terry was bringing out that idea that to hold together both the fatherhood of God and the heavenly transcendence of God, and the fact that the God of the Bible that we come to through the mediator Jesus Christ, the God-man Christ, we come to really to know the triune God, but really most directly in our prayers we're approaching the Father who is both transcendent and majestic and glorious over all creation, and yet is so near as our Father and ready to give grace and to hear our needs, even things that may seem kind of dumb and trivial to us. He's sovereign over all things, and He really cares about all sorts of things. So hope that was an encouragement to you. If you were there, and if you weren't there, weren't able to listen on Sunday, you can find that recording. I would commend it to you. Also, just another resource to recommend regarding the Lord's Prayer. I at times listen to a podcast that's called Doctrine and Devotion, and it's led by two pastors in the Chicago area, and they have been on this long series through a catechism. They're Baptists, and they're working through a Baptist catechism, just a series of questions and answers, working through various issues, doctrines of the faith, and they're on the part where the catechism talks about the Lord's Prayer. So actually the last several weeks they are still walking through the Lord's Prayer, and just each episode talking through another aspect of the Lord's Prayer, kind of through the lens of that Baptist catechism. So they have some really good reflections on that too. So if you were blessed by the lesson in Equipping Hour on the Lord's Prayer, I would refer you to that Doctrine and Devotion podcast and some of the recent episodes where they're walking through the Lord's Prayer in a slower, kind of more able to get in kind of with a finer grain. Now, just to be aware, like some other podcasts, if you listen to podcasts, there's a lot of banter. These guys have kind of an idiosyncratic sense of humor, and you may love it, you may find it really off-putting. So just a warning there that it may or may not be your cup of tea the way these guys kind of joke around with each other. But when they're dealing with the material, I mean, there's just really good, really wise input that they give regarding the Lord's Prayer and other matters they're discussing. So anyway, I hope that's helpful to you. But I want to just kind of walk through a few announcements about what's going on in the life of the church. Most of them are pretty routine things. So just this Sunday, we're gathering again for Equipping Hour at 9 and our corporate worship at 10:30. And it being the first Sunday of the month, we're going to be observing the Lord's Supper in the morning. So just being ready for that. And also, because it's the first Sunday of the month, we have a sack lunch after church. So if you are able to stick around, bring some food and sit on the lawn and extend fellowship there. Also, we have our evening service at 5 o'clock, returning back for just a continuation of our worship of the risen Christ together. Also, just midweek things to look out for in the newsletter. As usual, we have Bible studies, we have prayer meetings, we have youth gatherings, and also there's a backpacks ministry for Haiti that's going on right now. So our missionary partners, the Destins, they were here back in the summer talking about a ministry that actually another church that partners with them had formerly done, of filling backpacks with supplies that really help the kids out in Haiti. And this becomes a real opportunity both for the Destins and the church they're part of to meet material needs, but also just to make connections that can lead to gospel opportunities with these kids. So that church that formerly was helping with the backpacks is not doing that anymore. So the Destin said it was really helpful to do. So we said, hey, let's pick up that, take up that opportunity and get in that gap. So that's what we're doing. We're getting ready for next summer with these backpacks. So there's info in the newsletter about how to help fill those up with school supplies. So with that, I'll say goodbye, and Lord willing, see you Sunday, and I hope you're doing well. Talk to you later. Bye-bye.